So, good morning and the warmest of welcomes back here to the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre. We're not too far away at all from the $100,000 Lugano Diamonds 1m45 International Grand Prix. The riders making their final preparations, but before we get to the track, let's take a look at some of the fabulous sponsors and the team here for the Lugano Diamonds Split Rock Jumping Tour.
Site of Terra Nova Equestrian Estates Clubhouse. Terra Nova residents and VIP members will have access to our incredible clubhouse, complete with a full gym, tennis courts, kids playground, and luxury resort-style pool. After a day of work or riding, you'll be able to escape to a lush tropical oasis just steps away from the show facilities at Terra Nova Equestrian Center.
C. Jarvis Insurance is the leading international equine insurance agency in the world. Our team of professionals is here to assist you 24/7, and we offer worldwide coverage for all aspects of equine insurance. We are owned and operated by a family of horsemen, so you can rest assured that we have a pulse on the industry, and we'll look out for you every step of the way.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, not long now until our $100,000 Meter 45 International Grand Prix here, the Lugano Diamonds International Grand Prix being presented here today at Terra Nova, the culmination of the International Rider Tour, and we've got about 48 entries in that. But in addition, of course, tomorrow we've got our Championship Series finales. 3 classes over pounds tomorrow each. Big entries and $100,000 on the line at each height tomorrow. So a big, big day of show jumping. But as is the case here in North America, before we see the athletes at the very top of their game, we're going to see some athletes, one athlete today, of the future as we have our lead line class. Alongside me is the judge who is standing by when lead line becomes an equestrian discipline at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games, Ron Beachy. He is the leading international lead line judge in the world. He has made more children cry coast to coast in this country than any other lead line judge. And we just do have one today, but the blue ribbon isn't assured. You can see his eagle eye here, watching every moment of young Onyx Herrick riding around. Onyx, we'll just get you to come a little bit closer here to Ron so he can see. So if you just take a little bit of a left turn, that's it. We'll get a little bit of a small arena here around Ron. Oh, leg on, leg on.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. There you go.
There we go. They'll stop the countdown now.
Very good. Excellent. Just walk a little circle right around John.
So, that's it. We'll get you onto the right rein now. If you just do a little, we'll stay on the left, okay. Onyx is very decisive. You want to turn your pony around and go the other way? Now, have you any other tests in mind, Ron? Flying changes or counter-canter? Or are you happy enough?
Let's try the halt.
Oh! Okay, here's the big one. We're going to go for the halt, Onyx.
And halt, please.
Beautiful. 11 out of 10, Ron? Is that what you're saying? Oh my gosh. Exceptional. Standing out. Okay, do you have any, you must have some horsemanship questions maybe for Onyx. This is the best trained kid on Stranger Danger. This is like, I'm not talking to Ron Beachy. No way. No how. The blue ribbon winner. She has achieved the level. We'll hand that over. Ladies and gentlemen, Onyx Herrick, it is a tough little thing to do on your own, but our lead lines, they are wonderful. And people have come through these lead lines. You know the people up at the Hampton Classic with Joe Fargis. It's a real famous thing, and we're delighted to have a little bit of that here at Terra Nova as well. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Onyx. And we'll get back to the build-up to our Grand Prix.
Good morning and welcome to the penultimate day of the Lugano Diamonds Split Rock Jumping Tour here at the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre. The top class equestrian sport continues here in the main jumper ring as the stage is set for the Lugano Diamonds International Grand Prix with a prize fund of $100,000. Lugano Diamonds is proud to serve as not only the title sponsor of the 2022 Split Rock Jumping Tour, but also this International Grand Prix. Lugano's worldwide connections to procure the rarest, most unique and largest stones enables the company to offer an unmatched inventory of elegant, wearable works of art, including a unique line of equestrian-inspired pieces. A huge thank you to the team from Lugano Diamonds for their continued support. The last of the international classes takes the format of an FEI jump-off. Riders with an equality of faults will return for a jump-off around a shortened course. 47 horse rider combinations will come forward to contest. As we look down the start list, there's certainly some riders to look out for. Chile's Samuel Perot, he's coming, previous Grand Prix winner of the Split Rock Jumping Tour, one of the first of 5 to come forward. Great Britain's Jessica Mendoza, 2-time Nation Cup winner and also a Grand Prix winner on the Split Rock Jumping Tour. She also joins that stellar field. Andreas Benet-Sampé, he took the first international class win this week in the FEI Power and Speed. Then there's Mark Blumen, Marilyn. They took the win in the Grand Prix here just 12 months ago. But first, let's take a look at the course designed by Canada's Peter Holmes. 13 fences, 16 jumping efforts with a triple combination at 6 ABC and the double at 11 AB. Let's take a look at the course now if you cast your eyes over to the screens around the arena. So the 3D automation of the track, you can see that if you look over to your right-hand side and ahead from the main pavilion. They'll come to the Vitalize Oxa at 1, just in front of us here at the jurors box. Then, turning right-handed, that curving right line to the cowboy boots vertical at fence number 2. It's a tight left-handed turn back round then to the planks at fence number 3. It's quite upright. They're going to want to show that quite a lot of respect. Then, from 4 through to 5, 2 big oxers down in front of us here. And then it's a right-handed. The first of the combination fences, they go from 6A, B and C, the autumn leaves. Then it's a right-handed turn, the Jarvis Insurance Oxa at fence number 7. To 8 to 9 is the Helm Limited vertical down towards the Horseheads Oxa. It's a left-handed turn to the Dalman, quite upright at fence number 10. There is a little bit of width on the top of those rails, but it is quite upright before then coming to the second and last of the combination fences at 11A and 11B. Not too far from home then, turning left-handed round to fence number 12, the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre vertical by the side of John Carl, and then right-handed to our final fence, the Oxa at 13. It's a big track, it is. 47 horse rider combinations to come forward, and let's go down into the main jumper ring as we welcome forward John Carl alongside the founder and president of the Split Rock Jumping Tour, Derek Braun.
Thank you very much, Louis. Yes, it's wonderful to be here at Terra Nova. It's promised slightly better weather, Derek, but we are, of course, in spring and just coming out of winter. But my goodness, what a place to come out of winter too here. Terra Nova looking spectacular. We've had spectacular jumping here so far as well.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, this facility is absolutely incredible. We compete. We have events all over the country, and really, honestly, nothing really compares to this. The arenas, the facilities, the barns, the horse baths, everything's horse friendly. It's really an incredible place for competition, and it's only going to get bigger and better.
Well, exactly. That was my point. This is our second year here with the Split Rock Jumping Tour. The 12 months difference. I mean, this whole pavilion's gone up in the last 12 months. It's hard to imagine what we might come back to in 12 months' time, but we know it's going to be bigger and better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Herrig family and everybody here at Terra Nova is committed to making every detail amazing for all its participants. So I can only imagine as well that it's going to be bigger and better every year. They're just doing so many amazing things, and we're grateful to be here for sure.
Loads of people with us already because it's Grand Prix time, International Grand Prix. We all understand that, and we'll come back to talking about that a touch more in a second. But a little bit of an innovation tomorrow from the Split Rock. We've got 3 big $100,000 classes, Championship Series.
Yeah, this is absolutely a first-time type of event for those levels. I never before seen $100,000 for the meter 15 level, meter 25 level, and meter 35 level. I think it's going to be incredible competition for a first year launching this type of series. We have incredible participation. It's going to be extremely exciting. I hope everybody rallies around it, and I hope it grows into the future.
Cool. So coming back to today, we've got Peter Odenstein from Canada, one of the designers that the riders really like. We've got great riders. We've got Olympians. We've got top 20 rider and Daniel Blumen, winner here the other day. We've got Samuel Paro, a 2-time winner on your series. Jess Mendoza, a 2-time winner on your series. So we've got a great field of riders. What do they have to do?
Yeah, Peter absolutely does an incredible job. He has an incredible ability to create flow everywhere. He doesn't stop you anywhere. I think he's built an extremely appropriate track for today. It's definitely tougher than the qualifier on Thursday. There's a lot of different technicalities on track, and I think he's going to have a great course. I'd probably predict somewhere around 8 or 9 clear.
And just tell us a little bit, just talk us through. You've ridden to the World Cup, the Nations Cup level. Like, what's your take from the rider, the coach's point of view of what he has out here?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really difficult type of Grand Prix to course design, honestly, probably the most difficult. You have top-level riders, some of the top 20 riders in the world here at the meter 45 in height, so he's going to have to crank up the technicality and really shorten the time allowed in order to get the appropriate faults on course.
Okay, so we'll see how many qualify through the first round of jumping for the jump off that will decide today's $100,000 Lugano Diamond Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix. Jumping coming up in just a short while, and we have just under 50 competitors to show you here this morning in Terra Nova.
future site of Terra Nova Equestrian Estates Clubhouse. Terra Nova residents and VIP members will have access to our incredible clubhouse, complete with a full gym, tennis courts, kids playground, and luxury resort-style pool. After a day of work or riding, you'll be able to escape to a lush tropical oasis just steps away from the show facilities at Terra Nova Equestrian Center.
C. Jarvis Insurance is the leading international equine insurance agency in the world. Our team of professionals is here to assist you 24/7, and we offer worldwide coverage for all aspects of equine insurance. We are owned and operated by a family of horsemen, so you can rest assured that we have a pulse on the
We
industry.
are moments away
And we'll
here
look
in the
out
main
for you
jumper
every
ring from
step
the
of the way.
start of the Lugano Diamonds FEI Grand Prix. The final preparations just being made up here in the judges' box. The riders making their final preparations. So stand by as we look to start the Lugano Diamonds FEI Grand Prix in just a few minutes' time. See the start lists up on those boards around the arena, and we were talking a little bit about some of those influential combinations to come forward and some influential parts of the track as well. We looked at that 3D recreation. Let's have another quick look around this track. They'll start at the Vitalize Oxet fence number 1, coming back towards the collecting ring. Then a right-handed curving line to the Cowboy Boots vertical at fence number 2. Left-handed turn then, loop back round on themselves to the planks at fence 3. It's quite upright and there's not a lot of light that comes through those planks, so they'll really want to show that some respect. We may see some horses standing off that, but at this 2-star Grand Prix level, these horses have got quite a bit of experience under their belts already. From the vertical at 3 sees them turning left-handed to the ESI footings Oxer. There's a water tray under there. The only water tray we see on the track might stand off a little bit. They'll want to go forwards and then keep travelling down that line to another Oxer, fence number 5. The first of the combination fences then, they'll turn right-handed to the Autumn Leaves, the triple combination at 6A, B and C. 2 verticals to an Oxer coming out, and they'll carry a little bit more speed over that Oxer. They'll want to be careful though, because the Jarvis Insurance Oxer at fence 7 comes up quite quickly. You can actually see on the floor where the riders have walked that line. Will some continue on that curving line, or will they come and try and jump that a little bit more squarely? We'll see, because we've got 47 combinations coming forward. Will they all take that same line? Once they've cleared the Jarvis Insurance Oxad, fence number 7, it's on to the line of 8 through to 9, the vertical through to the Oxer, the Helm Limited to the horses Oxer. Those are brown rails at fence number 9. They're not too far from home then. They've only got a handful of jumping efforts still to go. They'll go left-handed past the temporary in-out gate to the Dalman Oxer at number 10. It's not too wide. It's the narrowest of the Oxers we see on track. But then they'll move down to the far side to 11A and B. The second of the combination fence is a double combination. The Oxer through to the vertical. And then, once they've completed that, they're only 2 jump efforts from home. The vertical at 12, and then the Oxer at 13 to complete. 47 combinations coming forward, and as we are moments away from the start of the Lugano Diamonds FEI Grand Prix, as is customary with major sporting events in the United States, please be upstanding for the national anthem of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre. The stage set on FEI International Prix. We are so looking forward to seeing the 47 combinations coming forward. The time allowed in this first round, 75 seconds, 16 jumping efforts, the combinations at 6 ABC.
Meter 45 level. Probably the most difficult for a designer to really set because you have such a wide range of riders. First of all, like we go all the way from Olympians and world top 20 ranked rider like Daniel Blumen, our winner of the Welcome, through to riders who are really themselves starting their international career ladder. And the same with horses. We'll have some horses here really well established, this level above, and other horses very young coming up, making their first steps in the international sphere of our sport. So quite a chunky course, maybe not quite as technically difficult as the Welcome here the other day, but by the same token, I think beefier. It'll be interesting to see exactly how many clears we end up with coming back to the jump off. Sire Happy and AE Swanson Farms Good Time Girl are our first to go, and Sire, who with this horse already 5th in that Welcome, so she has been a jump off contender over one of Peter Holmes's international tracks this week. Yes, that related distance then. One of the few straight related distance that Peter has given in any of his international courses. He's very much about the bending lines. Sire and Good Time Girl coming to the triple combination, ending up just having the A element there. You can see they're exactly on the path that the riders walked a little bit earlier on. That's always really interesting in the early part of a course to be able to see where the riders have walked. Sire, you can see, is a little bit left of the line, but holds the line
turn last, 77, 73. It's the time, unfortunately, there, which meant Richard and Paul is doing great business on this one. That's kind of the top of the leaderboard in the F350 Top Challenge. And the fact that it's been clear,
Samuel's horse just takes a little bit of a dive at the cowboy boots at number 2, just showing quite a bit of exuberance here. Plenty in the hand for Samuel to manage. Another of the riders to be double-handed in this Grand Prix as well, so he has 2 chances of making it into the jump-off and making it onto the podium. But I have to say, Captain is not making Samuel's life easy. But it might just be, at the moment, I think the riders will still be a little bit conscious about whether the time allowed is achievable. There's actually just a loose strap there underneath as well. I think there's something just come off his breastplate, and maybe that's upsetting. Oh, wow, it's quite a significant bit of gear. It's not the girth, but it might be an overgirth. Samuel Barrow and Captain, they are clear.
Most recently in trial of 2018, it's the first of the clears and inside the time allowed as well.
Yeah, he's got a strap that would normally go in front of the horse's shoulders to stop the saddle from slipping back. Has just come loose. I think they did quite a nice job keeping the horse focused all the way around to be our first clear inside the time there, Samuel Barrow, and it could be the first of 2 for the Chilean Olympian. Just having permission from the jury to mount in the ring, and still just having a little bit of trouble there by the in-gate is Victoria Ketchum, and Ecstasy, they will be our next to go. She gets the horse up and in front of the leg, and on they go.
Was out jumping in Wellington over the winter. Here they are now, though, at the Terranova Equestrian and Ecstasy, the United States of America.
Yeah, now that they're away from the gate, I think everything should settle down for this pair. And actually the big screen and the in-gate are 2 elements of the environment of the ring that the designer can sort of start to incorporate into their course. The in-gate, for instance, can exert an enormous draw on horses right to the top level of the sport, even just to the extent of slightly slowing down their pace. And if you set a big fence going away from the in-gate, as a designer, and if the riders aren't conscious of that, aware of it, and riding against that slight decrease in pace, you can end up with a good effect as a designer. So Victoria in Ecstasy, I mean, one of the things is, you know, whether she is able to really wind up and move this horse into the speed required, 375 meters a minute. Yeah, we saw Trinidad Sofia Ricard go around jumping clear, but with time penalties. He jumps the Dalman, and just because of that little back rail, there's an opportunity to be pushed a little bit further into that distance down to the Lugano than you might otherwise wish, and therefore riders really have to sit up and manage their spot down to it. And actually too big a jump over the Dalma could end up resulting in the B element of the Lugano Diamond, Dan. So very, very steady as we were predicting for Victoria Ketchum and Ecstasies. They do jump clear, but it is with 7 time faults there for the Holsteiner Ecstasy. Three members of the Blumen family with us here, jumping internationally at Sarasota on the Split Rock Jumping Tour. Here is the highest ranked of them, world number 19, Daniel Blumen. Daniel, Olympian and championship rider for Israel, here has Ubiluk. Ubiluk was his runner-up in the welcome. He won it with his other horse, Kashmir. So a very useful 1-2 for Daniel. He's got Kashmir de Braise drawn as the second of his horses here today. That's actually the same way the horses were drawn the other day as well for Daniel. Daniel and Nubiluk. Daniel, of course, incredibly experienced. Daniel is sort of reaping the abundant opportunities to compete over the winter in Florida. I'm sure, jumping at the Winter Equestrian Festival over the course of this. He's been up with us 2 days. He got a 1-2 for driving up here the other day. Drives up here today in the hopes of maybe a Grand Prix win. But no, the front rail off the Dalman. So Ubiluk potentially out of contention, with Samuel Parro having our only clear at the moment. Daniel also winner on the Ridge, a venue at which he's won at many times down in Wellington, back on Wednesday as well. So Daniel Blumen and Ubiluk come home on 4:73.33. Like really no problem there with a 75 seconds time allowed for a rider of the caliber of Daniel Blumen. He's won so many big Grand Prix. He's won the $500,000 Winter Equestrian Festival finale Grand Prix, the week 12, several times. He's won the Nations Cup Grand Prix of Rome, that Rolex Grand Prix at Piazza di Siena in recent years as well, and twice won the Hampton Classic. Tonjobin of Canada. Cuba Libre is the ride for the competitor that we've seen in action an awful lot on the Major League Series here in North America over the course of the last 12 months. That's up at the 5-star level. Rides this one by the wonderful and well-respected sire Kornad Obolensky. Cuba Libre, Sean riding for Foxridge Farm Stables and flying the flag for Canada. Top 10 with us this week as well. We had a very, very international field in the top 8, top 10 of the International 2 phase that opened up the FEI Tour here on Wednesday. A element of the triple combination dance, the second time it's been down this round for Sean and Cuba Libre. On this occasion, of course, it was one of the early fences down for Sire Happy, Good Time Girl. You can just see the little belly rub over that Lugano fence. And so we've talked, if you've watched a lot of Split Rock with me, I do talk quite frequently about the colour of that Lugano fence, which I think is really interesting. It's a difficult fence for the horses to read because of the colour. There's a lot of analysis into how the horses see colour, how they read colour. Certainly a stripy rail, certainly something very, very high contrast like that Helm Limited where it's black and white as opposed to black and reddy brown on the fence which follows. But this fence, the stripes really do help it, because sometimes there are materials where the Lugano is all that one sort of sky blue, Cambridge blue Lugano colour, and it just sort of fades a little bit for the horses, and again, they don't see those colours exactly the way we do. So always interesting, and again, colours a huge part of the design thinking from designers at the top level of the sport, like Peter Holmes. Caroline Mawhinney with the Dutch Capitol horse Danse de Buisson. Caroline, one of our juniors. But youth really doesn't hold back some of these thrusting young riders who make a great name for themselves on the international rankings. You know, you take the #1 ranked under 25 rider in the world, Harry Charles. He's been a championship medalist. He's been a World Cup qualifier winner at the 5-star level in Europe. Took a little bit of a risk there on the way to the Lugano. They were quite long and flat, but Danse de Buisson making it pretty good shape over the jump. 75 seconds time allowed. They are going to be snug, and they are going to be just inside. 74.90. Caroline Mawhinney by 0.1 of a second gives us a jump off. That is clear round #2 of the day here in the $100,000 Lugano Diamond Split Rock, jumping to a Grand Prix. So Kelly Solo Miller is our next to go. Bridgebrook LLC's Casherel by Vingino taking to the field here. Kelly, who's been a US Nations Cup rider, makes a return to us on the Split Rock Jumping Tour. The last time we saw her jump with us was in the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington back in June of 2021. And the year before at that same show, Kelly picked up an international top 5 on our tour. Has Kelly, having cleared everything so far, got the pace under her belt as well to be getting inside that 75 seconds time allowed. The gauntlet was laid down on day 1 of the international tour with an incredibly tight time allowed in the first phase of the 2-phase special. So all of the FEI riders have been aware that, you know, Peter is putting time forward as part of his arsenal this week. I'm really fascinated by the way he's used that Dalman, because it's a box wing, so it's got those 3 strips that the designer can use, and to have made an oxer, a parallel, out of just a single box wing is very interesting. I'm not sure I've seen that anywhere else, but it just goes to the creativity and thinking of a designer like Peter Holmes. Unfortunately, a rail close to home, the Lugano Diamonds vertical coming down out of the double, and that Lugano Diamonds vertical sitting, as all the verticals are, on top rail on yellow cups, that little bit shallower a cup. So have to be that little bit more delicate, that little bit more careful, and it's 4 faults for Kelly and Casherel. Of course, with the jump off on our hands now, the likes of Kelly and Casherel and our other riders with faults who won't come back for the jump off will be classified according to faults and time. So Kelly, Casherel, 4 for jumping, 2 for time, in fact, a total of 6. So Daniel Blumen's on 4, Aaron Vales on 4, Trinidad Sophia Ricard sitting 3rd on 3. As we welcome forward Barney Blue and Jess Mendoza. Jess, championship rider for Great Britain. So really uncharacteristic there over at the White Fountains. It's built very solidly with the planks, but the rail on the top, you know, once the rider does the job of getting the horse's eye off the filler, and like every filler down at the base, you see these curvy leaf fillers. They're designed to draw the horse's eye down. Water tray, the same. That Jarvis rail in the middle, the same. And then the rider's job is to get them focused and thinking about that top rail. And he's been quite generous, I think, in number 3. Instead of building it as an almost wall of planks, he has put the rail on the top so that the horses then, when they get their eye on it, they go, oh, it's a pole, I understand that. It's, you know, planks are less frequently seen, they're less familiar to the horses. So it's going to go into time faults as well. 3 down, 12 for jumping, 5 for time for Jess Mendoza, our 2-time Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix winner here with Barney Blue today. It is not going to be their day in our $100,000 Lugano Diamond Split Rock Grand Prix.
And I imagine more to come over the next few years. The United States of America comes forward with Farm LLC's.
So Catherine Kubiak, Catherine who's riding the Toulon horse Huntington. Catherine, a North American Youth Championships contender in recent seasons and riding well in the Hermes Under-25 series down at Wellington International. And again, if you just catch the bottom filler of the cowboy boots there as well, it's quite that, it's that slightly taller solid filler, and it's lying right down on the ground as well, which kind of gives that sense of a little bit of the beginnings of a wall again. What's quite nice about that though is that it does almost prepare them then for the very solid look that they're going to get off number 3. Does a good job because they were all over the A element of that triple combination, but it actually sorted out the horses jumping, tidied it up a touch over the B and C element. So everything's still standing at the moment for Catherine Kubiak and Huntington. So just 2 clears. Are we on course for another? But 10 seconds to get home from here seems like quite the ask. Turning back to the Terra Nova, and then this bending line, the Terra Nova comes with them anyway. Yeah, just a little bit strung out at the end of the course there, this pair. They just weren't making a great shape of jump, a great quality of jump over those last 2, and they were penalized on both occasions. So it's 8 jumping faults, and it's going to be 6 time. So a total of 14. Boyadran van Gelderen and Jaslyn WP. Jaslyn, the 9-year-old mare by Emerald. Boyadrian for APG Stables here. Boyadrian, Jaslyn WP, good rider over in Europe. Boyadrian just starting a bit of a season of jumping here in North America. A element triple combination we saw so close to going a moment ago for Catherine Kubiak, and we have seen it on the floor twice before. just saw him hunt a little bit at that. He could feel the horse backing off a touch. Had to hunt at the Dalman, maybe with the horse just suddenly seeing the back rail, but with that little bit of a change of rhythm, that could probably be attributing then to the A element of the Lugano Diamonds being down. So bringing home 8 faults and going to be just into time as well by the looks of it. Boy Adrian van Gelderen do have those 2 down, and then it is 2 for time, giving them the total of 10. They go into 10th place of those we've seen so far here in our $100,000 Lugano Diamonds Grand Prix. 2 clears, Samuel Parot and captain, and Caroline Mawhinney and Dan Buisson. So a horse and rider combination that were on the podium. Runners up in the speed yesterday. In order to make their speed count, though, they have to jump clear in this first round. Then they'll be able to open up the taps in the jump-off. Jump-off contenders come back in the order in which they qualify onto this format as well. So Olympian Samuel Parot will be our first back for the jump-off. He'll be followed by junior rider Caroline Mawhinney. And who else will join them? Again, looking at a course as an overall impact, the triple combination, where it comes in the course. Very, very early on, he's trying to look for the horses, you know, that they're concentrating and focus. Quite late on, he's looking that they've still got the energy, the adaptability, the rideability to deliver that gymnastic exercise. Here, Peter has put it plumb in the middle of the course. It's fence 6 over 13 fence tracks. So, again, he's sort of catering to that idea of horses and riders, maybe this being one of their earliest shows on their international career. So he's not using the extra elements that the positioning in the flow of the track can make to the triple combination's difficulty, but he's set up a difficult enough triple combination, no doubt about it, with it being so influential so far. It's just the 4 faults, and in the time, 73.97 for Harry Grimes and Leisure. So they go into 6th place. Aaron Vale and I Adermi are 4 in 73.28, so it's very close. Are our fastest 4 faulter in 4th.
Potentially could add to the roster of top results in this $100,000 Lugano Diamonds FEI 2-star Grand Prix. 2 clears, Samuel Parot and Caroline Mawhinney. Maybe it will be 3. Stephen Blumen, Bleu de Caron, Israel.
Another of the Blumen family. Stephen also rides for Israel and has been doing so since 2020. Riders had good summers up at the likes of the Great Lakes Festival. He's been a Nations Cup rider in the past for Colombia before declaring for Israel, and actually over recent summers has been competing with us a lot in Europe as well. He is just going to get the ring crew's hands. Where does they have to fish the ESI pole out of the Liverpool, the water tray underneath that fence? So still resolutely staying on 2 clears. I'm just looking across at that black and brown horse's oxer that precedes the Dalman, and it is like a lot of his oxers have been throughout the week. Welcome and today. Really, really wide for the specification. And then he suddenly puts in that incredibly skinny oxer at the Dalman on the way up. Takes the front rail off the last as well. So it's 8 jumping faults, it's 3 time faults for Stephen Blumen and Biblu de Perron by Old Chap Tame. So a total of 11.
The FEI welcome, the second of competition here. It's the first of 2 rides in his class as well, will be coming back.
So Megan McDermott next to go. Megan with counterbalances H.H. Callis. Double H. Callis, of course, originally a bit of a winning machine for Danielle Torano. When the horse started over here in North America and then spent some time right up to the top of the sport 5-star level with McLean Ward. Megan here, just Callis just showing a little bit of attitude. Yeah, and unfortunately they've run out of their 45 seconds, so you can see the clock has started. Yeah, and she's going to elect to retire, just not coming together today, unfortunately, for the pair, Megan McDermott and H.H. Callis. So retiring on course here in our $100,000 Lugano Diamonds Grand Prix. 2 qualified for the jump-off so far, Chilean Olympian Samuel Parro and US junior rider Caroline Mawini with Dance de Buisson. On the grey here is our Spanish visiting rider, Diego Perez Bilbao, with the Over Fences Farms Mystic Lindenhof by the VDL side Berlin. Diego again riding here a little bit in the United States. His last show, international show in Europe, was actually the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup Finals in Barcelona. Went very well in the Queen's Cup competition, the individual Grand Prix there, as one of the Spanish individual riders at that show. So Diego ticks off the first few fences on course down to the Western Motif Oxer at 5. It's the turn back to the triple combination. A lot of success or failure in the triple is coming as a result of the turn back from number 5. The 10 seconds from here, it is doable. Got to leave everything standing and not just hustle the last too much. Doesn't even touch it, and 74.13, there we are. Third contender in the jump-off, third different flag to be represented in the jump-off as well. Samuel Parro, Chile, Caroline Mawini, the United States American, now joined by Diego Perez Bilbao of Spain to contest the finale of our $100,000 Lugano Diamonds Grand Prix. Simon McCarthy's are next to go. Rockridge Farms Gotcha, the staccato horse for the Irish contender. Simon having a pretty good show with us here, and so are his clients, with plenty of class podiums and a couple of victories. Just asking the ring crew to come and have a look at the top rail, I think, of the B element of the triple combination.
More success here perhaps for Gotcha. Simon McCarthy, Ireland.
Makes that left-handed approach and then lands that right leading leg to take them up the curving line to the cowboy boots. He puts a little bit of an angle on that, and that's probably relatively sensible when many have been struggling to just sneak inside the time. He rides tighter than the walked line 3 to 4 as well. But here's where you could be caught out. If you turn up a little bit too short to this triple combination, you find yourself in trouble. Gotcha got right in underneath that B element, but got himself out of trouble. Comes that big wide brown oxer. Again, looking for the most economic line up to this Dalman. And 6 strides to the Lugano double. Everything standing, just getting a little bit lower behind, just needs that hind leg to engage a little bit more to be sure of coming home. The time looks great. Simon and Gotcha, they tap that last, but it stays. It is clear, I think our quickest clear round as well. Quicker than Samuel Perro, yep, 72.42. So it is clear round number 4 to come back. So 2 in a row there suddenly, Diego Perez Bilbao and Simon McCarthy. And it is another different nation, 4 in the jump off, 4 different nations.
Lots of influential combinations, and this is perhaps one of those as well.
Out of New Albany, Ohio, Ali Wolf. Ali will be fighting to get into the jump off, and if she does so, she'll have a real cut at it. Far from her most experienced horse. She had the wonderful Casal a couple of years ago. Ali here with John Wolf's Query. But you'll never really stop her trying, you know, if she's got the blood up, if she's got the scent of a good result in the class, she'll try so hard, but unfortunately just doesn't quite clear out. You saw the horse just dance like an angel on the head of a pin there on that top rail, but it just dropped away. Actually, not the breakaway cups, but the back rails of all of our oxes are set on breakaway cups, so under significant downward pressure, they will drop away and make sure that pole gets out of the way to interrupt the development of any serious fall or tripping the horse, you can imagine, if the pole was to stay between the horse's legs. Front rail off number 10. So 2 down, 8 jumping faults for Ali and Query as they set up for home. The Terra Nova and then the Equestrian Closet, the 2 sort of lollipop winged fences. One for time as well, 75.81 on the clock. 8 for jumping, 1 for time for Ali Wolf and Query. It is 9 in all for the combination from Ohio. Camille Marcusson with Copin van der Broe's sire, Sherry de Papigny. We haven't seen too many problems yet at the second there, the Cowboy Boots. Camille, one of the first to have it down, but we did see a couple of horses just turn to it, coming so early on the course, and as I said, with that pretty solid, quite high filler right down on the floor underneath it. A few horses have just taken a little bit of a look, and the riders haven't ended up getting there as smoothly as they might have originally hoped. Lucky there because they stalled right in front of that big oxer. Camille, yeah, this horse just starting to really hang on her. She just needs to get him back up into the bridle, taking her places. At the moment, every time just drops a little bit in front. And if that continues, if it's a continuing downward trend, they could end up just throwing in a stop because they've run out of energy to such an extent in front of each jump. But they do jump them all. 82.69 on the clock, so it's going to be faults and time faults in play here for a total of 12. So 4 jumping and 8 time faults was the official score for Camille Markison and Sherry de Papigny to make that 12. Angela Swanson next on course. A Swanson Farms Belle Z. Angela also in the ownership of the first horse we saw, Sire Happy's Good Time Girl. Angela and Belle Z unfortunately on the 4, so still 4 qualified. We're not far off halfway through the starting draw. But of course, in the second half, we're going to have several of the riders who are lucky enough to have 2 horses coming back, and we'll see whether that experience in the first half allows them to convert, in some cases, quite an unlucky round. You take Aaron Vale, you take Daniel Blumen into a clear with their second horse. So if we go into the halfway point with 4 or 6 clears, does that mean we get 10 or 12 overall, or does it mean that the second half might deliver more clears than the first half? It's always the equation that needs to be worked out. And it will take a bigger, more statistical-minded brain than mine to work it out, that is for sure. 79.61 means it's time faults in play as well for Angela Swanson and Belle Z. So quite a few being caught out by the 75 seconds time allowed. So 4 jumping and 5 for time for Angela and Belle Z. Kelly Cruci, Ollie van der Veen with the Springpaardenfonds Nederlands Forever SFN. The Springpaardenfonds Nederlands, of course, had that wonderful horse with Jeroen Dubbeldam, Zenit SFN, that ended up as European and world champion of the sport. Kelly had a very good indoor show at the National Horse Shows, 4th in our speed this weekend with another of her horses. Kelly, like a lot of the top riders here in America, came up originally through the equitation ranks and training. Was the runner-up in the Maclay medal, won the Pessoa. Very flat over that back rail. They were just millimetres clear of it. Clear is good enough. Found her pace, 65 seconds at the moment, as she just has 2 to jump, so time's not too much of a worry. Take a pull, make sure of the last. No, it goes. Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen and Forever SFN have the last down in a great time, but 4 faults will be down the order. We have our 4 clears. We have Trinidad Sofia Ricard of Chile in 5th on 3 faults, and now Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen goes into 6th place with the fastest 4-faulter.
That's what it takes if they want to get inside that time allowed us 75 seconds and join the current 4 in the jump off.
The first international winner of the week, Andres Espinez Samper from the territory of Puerto Rico with the Indoctro horse Ferrari DN. Just the one ride for Andres here, but really made it count on day 1. So still just going to be 4 coming back for the jump off at this stage. 1 more who could potentially join them before the halfway break coming after Andres, but Andres has had 3 and 4 in quick succession down, putting him on 8 faults. Oh, turning into a big old score, unfortunately, for this pair with 2 down in the triple combination, now 2. Both parts of the Lugano. Andres, I think, making the right decision because the horse was just being, in a way, a little bit idle for him early on. He just wanted to carry on, try and get the horse jumping well, go out on a high note. It's a shame to have the last down after that as well, but Andres had done a nice job of getting that horse really going the way he wanted for the rest of the round after 4 early rails. So it's faults and time. 5 down in all, 20 jumping, 2 for time for Andres Espinez Samper and Ferrari. But the Puerto Rican combination were winners on day 1 of the tour here in Terra Nova. Alex Crown is our last to go before the halfway point. Alex Owenson rides this Diorado horse, Dumont. Alex was the 2-star Grand Prix winner a couple of seasons ago at the Club de Campo Villa de Madrid on the Global Champions Tour in Spain. Really just sitting, waiting, seeing if we could get 5 into the jump off as we get to halfway. 4 at the moment: Samuel Parro, Caroline Mawini, Diego Perez Bilbao, Simon McCarthy. 4 riders, 4 different nations. was close. That Jarvis front rail went right to the edge of the shallow yellow cup, but stayed. 55 as she goes around this corner. .67 here. I don't think she can do it time-wise. Into time, so Alex Crown unfortunately touches the last, but they all stay standing. But look at that, 6 penalties total, and all from the clock for Alex Crown and Dumont. So that brings us up to halfway, as we say, 4 currently qualified for the jump off. We'll see how many our second half can give us. We're going to have a just about a 10-minute pause while we set up the ring here at the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre. You see our 4 clears, and then in 5th place Trinidad Sophia Ricard and Kumorka Z with the 3 time faults otherwise clear. So we've had a few who've jumped clear with time faults. We saw Alex Crown moments ago clear with time faults, 6 of them to go behind our 4 faulters. The fastest 4 faulter, Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen, in 6th place, 72.73. An interesting competition already here in the $100,000 Lugano Diamonds Split Rock Grand Prix. Don't go too far away. We'll be back with the second half of the initial round of jumping in a few minutes' time.
Behind me is the future site of Terra Nova Equestrian Estates Clubhouse. Terra Nova residents and VIP members will have access to our incredible clubhouse, complete with a full gym, tennis courts, kids playground, and luxury resort-style pool. After a day of work or riding, you'll be able to escape to a lush tropical oasis just steps away from the show facilities at Terra Nova Equestrian Center.
C. Jarvis Insurance is the leading international equine insurance agency in the world. Our team of professionals is here to assist you 24/7, and we offer worldwide coverage for all aspects of equine insurance. We are owned and operated by a family of horsemen, so you can rest assured that we have a pulse on the industry and will look out for you every step of the way. C. Jarvis Insurance is the leading international equine insurance agency in the world. Our team of professionals is here to assist you 24/7.
Behind me is the future site of Terra Nova Equestrian Estates Clubhouse. Terra Nova residents and VIP members will have access to our incredible clubhouse, complete with a full gym, tennis courts, kids playground.
C. Jarvis Insurance is the
So welcome back. We've got 4 currently qualified for the jump off in our $100,000 Lugano Diamonds Meter 45 International Grand Prix. Samuel Parro of Chile, 2-time Split Rock Grand Prix winner, 2-time Olympian. Caroline Mawini, junior rider for the USA. Diego Perez Bilbao is ridden to the 5-star Nations Cup finals level for Spain. And Simon McCarthy for Ireland. They're rounding out the 4 currently qualified.
On the board at the end of the arena, 4 clears from 4 different nations. Ireland, Simon McCarthy. Spain's Diego Perez Bilbao. But
in this second half of the draw, we're going to take a few who we see for the first time, but we will see quite a few who come back with a second horse, Samuel Parro amongst them. And see how many more clears we get. 4 currently qualified for the jump off here. Peter Holmes of Cowichan Bay, Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Our international designer for the week here. Had 3 good days of international competition so far, with wins for Puerto Rico, for Israel and for Germany so far. Actually, no US wins in the international series here at Terra Nova Equestrian Center, just outside Sarasota, Florida, playing host for this second year of the January leg of the Split Rock Jumping Tour. And in terms of the national horses, this is the series championship show. 3 classes tomorrow, $100,000 on each of them. Meter 15, Meter 25, Meter 35, 2-round classes here tomorrow. Katie Tyler gets us back underway. Katie owns and rides Enya 2-1. If you're just joining us, he'll show us the way around this track, as I said, set by Canada's Peter Holmes, his second time designing with us on the Split Rock Jumping Tour, having come to Aiken back at the tail end of 2021. We have a 75 seconds time allowed, and that has been pretty influential. You see Katie there, just her plan was to come and really just knife across that distance to the Cowboy Boots at number 2, 1 to 2. Goes against them, they have the rail down, and then the horse just throws out the anchors and stops here at this quite solid number 3. You can see planks up, but the pole on the top softens the question a touch. This is not going their way today, though. It is a second disobedience on course, and therefore, sadly, elimination for our first as we come back from the break.
Reminder of those 4 clears: Simon McCarthy, Diego Perez Bilbao, Caroline Mawini, and Samuel Parro. Can we get boys to jump off?
So this horse and rider combination are on the Split Rock Jumping Tour Roll of Honor. They won the National Grand Prix in Portland, Oregon last year. The second week that we spend at West Lynn, just outside Portland, is a national-only weekend. Tina was the best of the biggest class that week, with Lynn Parker's Evaluddin by VDL Dallas. Tina, who's been a podium finisher at World Cup qualifier level here in North America, has jumped with us in the past in Ohio and in Sonoma, California, as well as I mentioned, Portland, Oregon. So Tina, good rider. We saw her, very, very consistent over those 2 weeks in Portland, always successful with us in California as well when we're over there. She is, as usual, spending the spring here in Florida. But a good supporter of the Split Rock Jumping Tour made the window in her calendar to make sure she was here at Terra Nova for this week of international jumping in Evaluddin. A good job here. So time-wise, they could just about do this. Just a little bit rigid through the shoulder there. Didn't give her a lovely turn back. 75-1-1. Unfortunately, it's one for time. Tina Yates and Evaluddin miss out. They're not the first to miss out, having jumped clear with just time faults. We saw Alex Crown just before the break. We saw our rider from Chile, Trinidad Sofia Ricard, the same with 3 time faults. So that 1 time fault will go into 5th, immediately behind our 4 qualified for the jump off. Satini Yates and Evaladine in 5th, and difficult to see that too many people would be faster than them with a time fault. She was just 0.11 over the time.
Get go. 381.
Front rail off the Vitalize, the same as Aaron Vale earlier on here for Taylor Land. Taylor was actually 4th in this very class here at Sarasota 12 months ago. Rides Pine Tree Farms Get Go here, but already on the 4th, so still just 4 coming back to us for the jump off at this stage of the Lugano Diamond Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix of Sarasota. Trifecta, unfortunately, A, B and C all down. Just see her go to the whip, give the horse a reminder to, like his name says, get going. Back rail. Back rail at the Dallman is down as well, so this is a big old score, 6 down. And 65 seconds coming around this corner. That's about where Tina Yates was, so 72.33, so the time okay, but the 6 down is really tough for the pair. 24 faults on the card for Taylor Land and Get Go.
Quintana up next in the Lugano Diamonds International Grand Prix. Romero Quintana with the 10-year-old Black Hanoverian Stallion Champion League. Finished 2nd in the FEI Power and Speed class.
Argentinian Olympian Ramiro Quintana. One of several Olympians with us here at Sarasota Terra Nova Equestrian Centre this weekend. 10-year-old Champion League. Ramiro, who was 2nd in our first international class of the week, the 2-phase, well placed at our jump-off format welcome competition in Aiken last November, and also jumped well with Grand Prix top 10s in several of the divisions during the 2 weeks we spend at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington in June of 2022. So the second the Cowboy Boots is down, it's come down 3 or 4 times now, but a great spread of faults. I think probably everything on course has been down one stage or another. And Ramiro just turns away from his line to number 5. He's either going to reset the horse or just take a courtesy jump and retire here, I think. But not going his way, certainly. Gotico de San Giorgio was his ride for 2nd place the other day. He doesn't ride Gotica here today. Just comes single-handed to the class with Champion League, and unfortunately the tactic didn't pay off. Leaves the C element up at A and B down, and again we just see him drifting over towards the fencing, and that is going to be retirement, I would say, for Ramiro Quintana and Champion League. Sometimes riders do think, you know, oh, I'll ride on, I'll try and get the horse going better, and we saw that with a competitor or 2 earlier on and worked out for them. But you know, the riders know their horses inside out. They'll know what is the best for them, and when it just continues to go wrong like that, then it's away, back to the drawing board, very quietly build the horse confidence and skill back up.
Quite meant to be in this 2-star Grand Prix. 4 clears, 4 into the jump off. 1 for Ireland, 1 for Spain, 1 for the United States of America, for Chile. Samuel Perot, Caroline Mawini, Diego Calais Bilbao, and Simon McCarthy.
Well, we're just about to go to our, I think, our first double rider. Caroline Mawini, Caroline who we saw earlier on. Caroline who is one of our clears already with the Dutch capital horse Dance de Buisson, is due to be back with us as our next to go with Stella La Vista.
On the split rock jumping tour.
Actually, you just can see, looks like maybe just a little bit of a struggle to get Stella La Vista down into the chute from the top warm-up ring.
Because so far that time allowed, 75 seconds, has been pretty difficult to achieve for some. As has jumping clear. We've only had 4 do it inside the time.
Well, in fact, just to see it a little bit closer, that's Mauricio Neumann Perez of Mexico. Coco de Chambourg, who's had to dismount to get his horse down to the ring. Just hope able to keep Coco now settled and calm enough as they come down there. But it does sound like Caroline Mawini and Stella La Vista won't come to us. So Caroline, just the one horse in the Grand Prix and qualified for the jump-off. So we will see Caroline one more time.
International run since then. I'll get on in the Grand Prix. Of course, that's completed one of our qualifying international classes earlier on this leg of the tour. Sarasota, Florida. Jumping efforts, time allowed 75 seconds, and onwards we go with the two-star.
So Mauricio Neumann Perez and Coco de Chambourg for Mexico. As we look for our 5th clean round and our first since the halfway drag of this $100,000 Lugano Diamond Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix. Maurizio's horse, the mare, 14-year-old, just backs a little bit off that quite solid white fountain winged fence. Turning back to the triple combination again, already you start to wonder, you have that little bit of fear that Maurizio could come home with a time penalty or two. As it is now, that time becomes a little academic. Well, to us, because we're looking to see who comes back to the jump-off with the 12 or more cash prizes on offer. We're going to see still a little bit of a fight behind those who qualify for the jump-off for top honours. And of course the one-time fault for Tina Yates sits 5th behind the 4 clears. Then it's 3 for Trinidad Sofia Ricard for Chile. Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen is the fastest 4-4 to sit 7th. Sitting 8th at the moment is Aaron Vale and I Adermi R4, and we're going to see Kelly and Aaron back with second horses. And we say, as we suspected, a little bit of time coming into play here as well for Maurizio and Coco de Chambourg. 4 for jumping, 3 for time. 7 in all. It's that 75 seconds time allowed.
I would see them again to the jump off. Unfortunately, it's still just the 4 that have gone clear inside that time allowed. Will Alex Granato do enough to make it 5? Brings forward the 11-year-old.
Alex Granato is our next to go. Alex, who was a winner a few years ago of the Split Rock Jumping Tour run leg of the World Cup Jumping Series in Columbus, Ohio, with his lovely Carlton W. Who'd also won at Deer Ridge at the Palm Beach Masters Show. Alex rides Kisma Equestrians LLC's Helios van der Nozerhoven today by numero uno. Unbelievable. Alex Granato, Helios van der Nozerhoven just duck out at the Jarvis Insurance here. Had the rail off the ESI into the Liverpool. They have that refusal. And now Alex has a job on his hands to just keep this horse going forward, to keep him engaged, to keep him happy. So 8 jumping forwards, and again with such a tight time allowed, you know that as soon as you have a stop, an interference on course, or an interruption on course, I mean to say, it is going to turn into quite a few time penalties. So it is 12 of them, 8 jumping, 12 time forwards for Alex Granato and Helios van der Nozerhoven. What an intriguing competition we have on our hands here in this Lugano Diamonds Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix. So Daniel Blumen back with us. Daniel unlucky last time around with Ubi Luck. Comes here with his FEI Welcome winner from this week, the BetHorseSports.com FEI Welcome. This is Cachemire de Braise. My quality touch for Over the Top Stables for the incredibly successful Israeli Championship rider and previously Colombian Olympian. It goes. Daniel Blumen will not feature in the jump off today, having been 1-2 in the FEI Welcome here 2 days ago. A element of the triple combination, amongst the most influential on course. So clear the Lugano double, but carrying 8 faults now after the wide oxer. Brown and black with the horses alongside. Back rail comes down for the pair. They really just chested down on it. It did break away on its cups if you managed to spot it. Daniel Blumen, Cachemire de Braise with the 8 faults, 74.01. 15th position for the pair. As it stands. Next rider comes forward. The horse that has turned fourth in the Grand Prix. So top 5 finishers with us in the Grand Prix at Aiken, South Carolina last autumn. Coco Faith and Aventador. Coco, a career winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour 2-star Grand Prix in New York on Governor's Island. That was in I want to say 2019, I think it was pre-COVID we had the first New York and only the second New York then last summer in 2022. Coco Aventador by Arpeggio. We're about 3/4 of the way through the field now, and we're still only looking for our 5th clear round, and we remain looking for our 5th clear round. That related distance, end up slightly touching off that front rail. Coco and Aventador have it. And another one to just, they don't have the rail, but they just really do have to reach for the back rail of that brown horse's oxer. Time all right for Coco. Yeah, no, just going to be outside 75.52. She's pretty steady on her way to the last, having had the rail. 4 for jumping, 1 for time for Coco and Aventador. That's in the money at the moment in 11th, but might be pushed down, especially will be pushed down if we get a clear or 2 more.
For the second of 2 rides, went clear with Captain Z towards the start of the class. He round in a time of 73.97, not even 2 seconds inside that time allowed. He knows what it takes to get round. Different ride, of course, this say 13.
So will the experience of having already jumped clear work in favour of our next to go? Samuel Parot back again, this time with Bougazi. Won the Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix at Split Rock Farm in Lexington, Kentucky in the spring of 2016. And then also won in front of a packed house in the Rolex Stadium at the Kentucky Horse Park, the Invitational, the Split Rock Invitational, presented by Haggard during the course of the Land Rover Kentucky 3-day event. Samuel and Buga, this is on course at the moment to be a 2nd clear round, only our 5th clear round of the class. Here we are, that is a good day at the office so far for Samuel Parot and Bougazi. We saw a 1-2 done by Daniel Blumen, fellow Olympian here 2 days ago. Might Samuel Parot be on course for a 1-2 today here in our Grand Prix? So Aaron Vale, Aaron missed out on a place in the jump off by having the very front rail off the Vitalize at number 1 with his first horse. Now he's back with a one from the Things Like a Horse stables. This is the British bred Cristo Beach. Well, make sure the first this time around skies it with Cristo Beach. Yeah, Aaron's top horse Elusive took him to the World Cup finals last spring. Before coming to Aaron Vale, this horse was ridden by Matt Sampson of Great Britain. Matt, who had an incredible summer in Canada last year, winning, I think, about 35 international classes between Thunderbird and Spruce Meadows. and then took Grand Prix victory indoors at XL, London International Horse Show, just over Christmas time. Aaron and Christo Beach won't be joining us for the jump off, unfortunately, as they have 4 faults. They come now to the Lugano Diamonds double and look towards home. Fastest 4 faults remains Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen, 72.73.
One down for jumping, Arundel and Christo Beach with the Sandra horse team.
4 and 73.48 is the total for Arundel and Christo Beach, 11th at the moment. So from one US World Cup finalist to another, in fact a 4-time World Cup finalist, Michelle Braun. Michelle with Split Rock Farms, Kiwi Dream bred 11-year-old Holsteiner Quinn. Quinn and Michelle were top 10 in Grand Prix with us at Aiken 2 years ago when Peter Holmes was the designer. Top 10 also with us in the autumn at the Kentucky Horse Park. Michelle gets the turn back to the triple combination. I mean, a lot of the faults we've seen in the triple have been around the approach, around the preparation for it. And we saw straight after the break, Katie Tyler a little bit was thinking all the way, you know, about that tight time allowed. Where can they go a little bit inside? Where can they start riding lines that are a little bit more jump-off-esque lines if they haven't got a horse that really travels? Clear the double, 2 to go. Time, tick-tock a little bit. Michelle and Quinn would just need to keep the pace up on this final line. Puts a little bit of angle on the Terra Nova, looks across to the last. It goes as well, unfortunately. So there is 2 for time and the rail. 4 for jumping, 2 for time for Michelle and Quinn here today. Michelle, who would say herself, just feels a little bit ring rusty, only having the one to concentrate on, having spent so many years as one of the top professionals in the sport with a yard of dozens, 10, 20 for most shows. But rode very, very confidently there around for the 6, as it ended up being. The Rupert Winkelmann. Rupert has been a winner with us this week. Took the speed yesterday with this horse, Duvery. Actually elected not to run his other horse, Conrad, who was also on the podium this week, 3rd in the 2 phase. So a man who's got great form against the clock this week over Peter Holmes's tracks. So hopefully no problems with the time allowed here in the first round, and then could be a real challenge if they make it through to the jump-off round. 5 currently qualified for that jump-off round, 2 of them for Samuel Parot. Can we see this Diamante Semi horse, Duvery, go through for Rupert Winkelmann of Germany? Well, the latest to have problems at number 1, but less usual is the fact that it was the back rail. I think our other problems at the Vitalize have all been a front rail. And the triple combination again exerting its influence. As we were saying earlier on, Peter puts it right in the middle of the course, thinking about, as you said, this 2-star standard. You have horses and or riders, you know, towards the beginning of their international careers, and the triple combination tough enough as an exercise without the added element of moving it very far forward in the course so that it comes up quite early before the horses may be really concentrating and listening, or putting it so late in the course that the horses maybe just find that little bit mentally and physically fatigued. So 3 down in all, 12 jumping faults inside the time for Rupert Winkelman and his winner from earlier on in the week, Duvery. So we are definitely going to have a new international winner. Our 3 international winners, Andres Espinay, Saint-Pierre, Daniel Blumen, and now Rupert Winkelman, all failed to make it through to the jump off here today in the $100,000 Lugano Diamond Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix. So who will be our winner? We have 5 current contenders, well 4 current contenders in terms of individuals, with Samuel Parrow having 2 in the jump off to come.
Geschneidet für Gelding is by the name of Clever Van de Vulverhopsy. Juan Andres Vegas Enriquez, Venezuela.
So Juan Andres Vegas Enriquez for Venezuela with Clever Van Vulverhof. And over at the Dalman, already with 8 faults on the card. Thinking towards home, 61, 62 seconds there. Passing the in-gate, round the cowboy boots at number 2 to come back to this Terra Nova vertical. And they need to be in the main on that quite flat inside line, knifing slightly across both 12 and 13 to catch the time when you're around where he was. And Clever and Juan Andres Vegas Enriquez do just get inside the time, 74.56, so it is the 2 down, it's the 8 faults.
47 forwards to contest in total in the last of the international classes here this week, 5 of which have made it into the jump-off so far. Samuel Parrow, 2 of his rides, Carolina Winnie, Diego Perez Bilbao and Ireland, Simon McCarthy. 5 in, could it be made 6 as we go back to Ireland with Jonathan Corrigan on Deborah Wyckoff's Super Chill. 585.
John Corrigan and Super Chilled. Jonathan, who's based just down the road from the Hampton Classic Showground in Bridgehampton, New York. Super Chill's been a very good horse for him, the Irish Sport horse bred by Gelvin Clover. Of course, those lines then will go back to Clover Hill. Jonathan has been a Nations Cup rider here in North America for Ireland. And 2 appearances so far in the Split Rock Jumping Tour Hagyard Invitational during the Land Rover Kentucky 3-day event. Saw this pair take top 10 in our Grand Prix at Aiken just last November. And the B element is down, unfortunately, here in the triple combination, so we won't see Jonathan Corrigan join countryman Simon McCarthy, qualified for the jump-off. Four for jumping, 2 for time for Jonathan, and Super Chilled here for Deborah Wyckoff. It is another one on 6. He'll sit just outside the ranked riders in 14th position.
Able to make it into the jump off on this occasion. So Megan McDermott comes back second at 2.9 for her, retired with the first. Perhaps a little bit better with this second one than the 9-year-old gelding Nintendo. And Megan McDermott, United States of America.
Megan McDermott. Megan with Counterbalance LLC's Nintendo by Nintendo. Third in the welcome with this horse in that jump-off format welcome. The tail end of the 2021 summer season when Megan took that victory in the 5-star Saugerties Grand Prix. But having featured well in our welcome here this week, having done that at the 5-star level before, with this horse Nintendo, she is not going to feature in our jump off today. Again, it's the triple combination that claims the scalp here of another contender. 5 coming back for the jump off. 2 of those 5 are horses piloted by Samuel Parot, already a 2-time winner on the Split Rock Jumping Tour of the Grand Prix Series. Only one rider before has won 3 Split Rock Grand Prix, and that is Connor Swale. A World Cup, an Invitational and a Grand Prix for Connor Swale to make up that 3. That's pretty much the 3 biggest things you can do on the Split Rock Jumping Tour. And Samuel Parot could become a double Grand Prix and Invitational winner here today and join Connor Swale on 3, leading the rankings of Grand Prix winners in the past. Megan McDermott, 4 in 71 seconds. That's very fast. So just see where Megan has been ranked, because Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen was for a long time our fastest 440. Yeah, I think she's been overtaken. Megan McDermott, Nintendo go into 8th with the fastest 4 faults. Trinidad Sophia Ricard in 7th with 3 faults. Tina Yates with a single time fault in 6th, and then 5 for the jump off. Camille Markison and Kinkeen Lock. Camilo bred Irish sport horse Kinkeen Lock. She just boots out the top rail at number 3. Just didn't feel in great shape at all, so just pulls away from number 4. I'll try and get their act back together here, I think. No, I'm not sure quite what she's doing. There's a lot of patting down the neck, which may be just reassuring, but it's also sometimes the prelude to the hand going up to retire. I think she's going to find her way down to the Vitalize and just pop the first again, maybe, to go out. No, I'm being proven wrong time and time again here. She's going to jump number 2. So takes that as a courtesy jump, so the horse goes out on a nice feeling. Kinkeen Lock and Camille Markison electing to retire.
From the Lugano Diamonds International Grand Prix here at the Terry Nova Equestrian Centre in Sarasota, Florida. Camille Markison and Kinkeen Lock elect to retire.
Well, will we get a member of the Blumen family through? This is Mark Blumen. Hasn't been the day for Stephen or Daniel, but cousin Mark now with Marilyn looks for a place as clear round number 6 in the jump off of our Lugano Diamonds $100,000 Grand Prix. Over the top stables, Marilyn, for the Colombian contender. who was the winner of the two-star Grand Prix at Ken Farrington's show in Greenwich, Connecticut. It was actually fifth with this mare at the Devon Grand Prix in Pennsylvania last spring. Unfortunately, the last part of the triple combination counts against them, having the front rail there off the oxer. Marks Marilyn coming home, bred at the Shokamola stud by Messenger from the Oldenburg stud book. Mark and Marilyn have 1 for time as well, 8 for jumping and 1 for time for the pair.
Won't quite be able to retain his title here. The Lugano Diamonds International Grand Prix. But a good effort put in there from Marlon and Marilyn. To the final few we go then. Right, that took place in the top 3, the FEI speed class yesterday. The Aaron opponents, Joris Delaro and the Dominican Republic's Maria Gabriela Brugalgasso.
Maria Gabriela Brugalgasso with Ambagumian's Eurus de la Roque. We were chatting yesterday, the young rider from the Dominican Republic who's ridden at Pan American Games and Bolivarian Games level. It's this horse, Eurus de la Roque, that was on till the tail end of last summer, just after the Hampton Classic actually. Moved to Maria Gabriela, having been with Mario Delorier. Six A, 6B, both sadly down here for Maria Gabriela Brugalgasso. Maria Gabriela, unfortunately, with 2 down so far, 8 jumping faults with the horse that gave her a second place finish actually in our jump off format welcome during the course of the Aiken Horse Show.
Unfortunately as well, 2 for time and 8 for jumping, a total of 10 in 76.59. The Dominican Republic's Maria Gabriela Brugalgasso and Joris de la Roque, number 304.
So time penalties as well, 8 for jumping, 2 for time for Maria Gabriela Brugalgasso and Eurus de la Roque. So Jonathan Miller. Jonathan, last summer at Kentucky we had concurrent 2- and 3-star level competitions. Jonathan actually took one of the 2-star Grand Prix winners victories last summer. A Canadian Nations Cup rider, Canadian team rider at the World Championships. He's been a World Cup finalist for Canada as well. Right, it's Isotropic Shadow. Isotropic Shadow, the Oldenburger by contender for the Canadian rider. They were top 5 in the welcome together here this week. So 4 from the first half of the draw, 1 from the second half. Samuel Parro, Samuel has 2 for jump off, total of 5 qualified. And actually just a literal handful remaining to start. Jonathan and 4 more. So the biggest jump off we can have is 10, but it doesn't seem like we're necessarily going to get 100% strike rate all the way home. Jonathan's quite far off that. It lands quite short over the back rail, but it's all in place at 53, 54, 55 seconds coming to the Dalman, 20 seconds to get home. Yeah, he's just a little bit what was about to happen at the Brown horses. The horse just really jumps very, very shallow coming out of the Lugano Diamonds, and now it's just come apart a little bit at the seams, a little bit idle behind at that Terra Nova vertical. So 8 for jumping and 2 for time for Jonathan Miller and Isotropic Shadow. Again, you know, disappointing today, especially when you consider that over this designer's jump off format course 2 days ago, top 5, clear in the first round and coming back for the jump off. It really is fascinating how these 2 courses have ended up delivering very, very different results. Well, Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen disappointed earlier on to have had that 4-4. She was for a long time our fastest 4-4 to with Forever for Springpaden Fonds Nederland. Sits in 9th place with that one at the moment as Kelly now rides APG Stables Gangster Z. Gangster by Glasgow van Het Middelschnest. So Kelly and Gangster have the ESI footing down into the water tray. So no jump off for her today for either horse. Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen and Gangster. Faults and time faults, 77.94 there, so it's going to be 3 for time for the pair too, making that total of 7. 3 more to go here in the first round over Peter Holmes' track.
The final 3, then the first of the final 3 for Israel, Alberto Michel, and the 13 gelding by Naval de Riviera. Finally to the jump off.
Nabal de Trevera and Alberto Michan are next to go. Alberto for Israel, an Olympian for Israel in Tokyo, having ridden for them since 2018, previously of course a championship rider for Mexico, rode at the 2008 and 2012 Olympics for Mexico and was a double World Cup finalist for Mexico as well. Albie has the first down, unfortunately the front rail off the first with Nabal de Trevera. So it gets the time, but it is with the rail. For faults, 12th place at the moment. That would sit with a little bit of the prize purse as things currently stand, but there are 2 more to come, 2 for the USA. Let's say we have 4 different nations represented amongst our 5 riders. We only have 4 different riders represented amongst our 5 contenders for the jump-off. Just the 1 for the USA so far, Caroline Mawhinney, but if either of our last can score the clear, we will have 2 for the USA, because Kayla Savard and Maggie McAlery both flying the home flag here as we reach towards the end of the first round of jumping. Maggie McAlery with the I'm Special Demuse Indian quality horse, this 9-year-old. Maggie once again in Europe this summer. Finished up her European tour with a win in a good class at Jumping Indoor Maastricht. You see the clock ticking up. She has exceeded her 45 seconds. So that, well, the front rail makes it sure anyway, but Maggie was going to really struggle to get around this track inside the 75 seconds time allowed, having wasted 3 or 4 seconds by running through the countdown time. Maggie, as we've been chatting about this week, was one of the original riders of GAC here, who went to the World Championships last year in Denmark for Erin Ballard. A tough day at the office here for Maggie, with 3 down already and quite a lot of jumping still to go around this track. Over the helm, the related distance down to the brown horses. And turning up to this skinny oxen now in the colours of the Dalman Jump Company. So jumping and time faults. 12 for jumping, 8 for time there for Maggie McAlery and Indian Quality. So 5 qualified for the jump off, 6 who is the maximum size. If our last to go, Kayla Savard jumps clear. Sitting currently in 6th place outside the jump off is Tina Yates with a single time fault. Trinidad Sophia Richard 7th on 3 faults. 8th, Megan McDermott with the fastest 4-faulter with Nintendo. Bogotan Nantuel is the ride for Kayla. Our last to go, the Dollar de la Pierre side mare from the Sol Francais stud book. Kayla Bogotan Nantuel with the Jarvis Insurance still on the 0 score at the moment, just though you can see the horse becoming a little heavy in the hand, taking a bit of a pull, a drag, and therefore that's going to result in a slightly flatter jump profile. Got a good shape to the canter down there, and that's actually pretty unlucky, because actually Kayla had done a good job of putting it all back together there after the Dalman. So Bogotan Nantuel on a minimum of 4. And 4 it will be inside the time. 73.67 won't be the fastest 4-faulter, so we will see our fastest 4-faulter come back for awards. We take 8 back for awards at the Split Rock Jumping Tour, and that's going to be Megan McDermott and Nintendo. 7th will be Trinidad Sophia Richard with 3 faults. 6th will be Tina Yates and Uvala Dean, the National Grand Prix winner in week 2 of Portland, Oregon last summer. And then we will divide the top 5 as the result of a jump off here this afternoon in Sarasota, Florida. Samuel Parot has 2. They're currently being shown to you as based on time, but actually they come back in the order in which they qualify. So Samuel's captain was actually our first clear, then Caroline Mawini's Dance de Buisson, then Diego Perez and Mystic Lindenhoff, then Simon McCarthy and Gotcha. Simon just not there on our screen at the moment, but then the 5th and last jump will be Samuel once again with Booga Z. So we will let the team here on to Peter Holmes and Hector at the head of our jump crew team set up the track. They're just going to take out 1 or 2 materials, open up the turns and lines, ready for the jump off over the shortened course to come to decide today's International Grand Prix on the Lugano Diamonds Split Rock Jumping Tour.
Behind me is the future site of Terra Nova Equestrian Estates Clubhouse. Terra Nova residents and VIP members will have access to our incredible clubhouse, complete with a full gym, tennis courts, kids playground, and luxury resort-style pool. After a day of work or riding, you'll be able to escape to a lush tropical oasis just steps away from the show facilities at Terra Nova Equestrian Center.
C. Jarvis Insurance is the leading international equine insurance agency in the world. Our team of professionals is here to assist you 24/7, and we offer worldwide coverage for all aspects of equine insurance. We are owned and operated by a family of horsemen, so you can rest assured that we have a pulse on the industry and will look out for you every step of the way.
Samuel Parro and Captain Z are going to be the first that we see coming back. Samuel, who qualified first and fifth for this jump off, so he will bookend it. He will set the standard and then he will come back knowing exactly what it will take to win. They start out over the Vitalize that was so influential in the first round. Then it's a rollback to the right to jump the Brown. It's a little bit more than 180 degrees, a little bit of an overturn. Then they have to sneak up to the skinny Dalman Oxer, jumping the Lugano Oxer, the only remaining part of the Lugano double. And then this, he turns right up into the face of the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre vertical. Uses the back of the Vitalize as a little bit of a handrail to come down to the two remaining parts of the Autumn Leaves triple combination. Samuel pulls the rail there. It's 4 faults on the way home over the Jarvis, and it's still going to be a pretty competitive time. I think he won't really have taken a pull having had such a late rail. 36.92. So that could be a very, very important time to take note of. That could be the time that ends up winning, but of course on the 0 score. So we'll see if somebody can match that sort of pace and leave them all standing amongst his 3 competitors before he comes back himself to try and take victory with his second ride. Caroline Mawini, Dance de Buisson for Caroline. Double clear. Will stay in front of Samuel Parro as long as they're inside the time allowed, 52 seconds. Soars out over the first. She's not necessarily trying to hunt down the 36 sort of time set by Samuel Parro, and now she has a rail as well. And I think a little bit she's sort of riding for that conservative round, not being too worried about the time, and actually she just came around without really enough energy, commitment, and just general oomph into that brown fence. So across the Terra Nova, I think they've got their mind more in the game now as they come down to the triple combination where Samuel had his problems. Time should be fine. They'll come home in the mid-40s, and it's going to be with 4 faults. Caroline Mawini and Dance de Buisson, 44.38 with 4 faults. So that's second best at the moment for our junior rider. Well, we haven't had a US winner of the International this weekend. Actually, Caroline's score and time means that we won't have a US winner of this Grand Prix either. So no US winners of the International divisions this week. So could it be Spain? Diego Perez Bilbao with the Over Fences Farms Mystic Lindenhof. At the moment, anyone who's double clear, and Diego won't be, will go straight onto the podium. A double clear was moments ago guaranteed top 3. Now, Diego leaves everything else standing and is faster than 36.92. That will guarantee top 3. But the most we can hope for is 2 double clears out of the 5 who've qualified for this jump off. He set that Vitalize. The relationship there when you go over to the Vitalize and then turn back to those Autumn Leaves, he set that. It's such a tricky spot. It's a very, very difficult approach to get right. And Diego Perez Bilbao unfortunately caught out there. So it's 8 jumping faults. He goes third best at the moment. So Samuel Parro has 1 step of the podium covered. He can finish no lower than third with Captain Z. Simon McCarthy.
Simon McCarthy, Ireland.
Simon, give us our first double clear. Simon again, riding a lot of the major leagues. Last year he has the back rail off that brown fence with the horses. So again, it's going to come down to time. 36.92 if he stays on the 4. Otherwise, Samuel Parot assures us of a victory for Chile, one way or the other, either with captain, with the fast 4, or with a double clear, and it's 8 falls there. So Samuel Parot is about to come back into the ring with holding a minimum of second place with his other ride captain. Simon McCarthy and Gotcha have 2 down, 8 jumping faults here in the jump off. And that's good news for Caroline Mawhinney as well. The US rider Dance de Buisson, minimum of 3rd as things currently stand. Bougazi is going to be Samuel Parot's second ride. He'll have just very quickly gone and just see him taking a couple of practice jumps out in the big warm-up here at Terra Nova Equestrian Center just outside Sarasota, Florida. So Chile's Samuel Parot is assured of victory for a 3rd time in the Split Rock Jumping Tour. $36.92. Captain Z, Samuel Parot. Samuel, with that horse, can finish no lower than 2nd. If he jumps double clear inside the time with Bougazi, he will take a win on a clean sheet and would make it a 1-2 as well, which he would very much like. Bougazi, international class victory last year at Triumph, 2nd with us at the horse park in Kentucky late last September. So Bougazi still to come to wrap up the class. If you are tuned in at the moment, don't forget there are 2 more classes from the Grand Prix ring here today. We've run the Grand Prix here this morning in Terra Nova, Sarasota, Florida. But you've got the Abby Jones Sotheby's Meter 40 Junior Amateur Final, and that's a hard start of 2:30 this afternoon. And then the B&D Builders Meter 20 Junior Amateur Final coming up as our final class here in the Grand Prix today at 3:30. Tomorrow, then it is going to be about the Championship Series. The Championship Series, $100,000 on the line in each Championship Series division. 3 levels, Meter 15, Meter 25, Meter 35. The horses, the riders must have ridden at 3 Split Rock Jumping Tour shows across the 2022 calendar year, with the exception of Sarasota last spring. That gives them their eligibility to ride. Of course, the horses can't have jumped too much more than the level of the Championship Series in the last few weeks of competition. And then it's a 2-round format. So Peter Holmes will set a 1st-round track, and then 25% will be eligible to come back to jump a 2nd round. So we've got about 65, I think, for instance, in the Meter 15. So that's going to bring us back 17 or 18, as you can imagine, for the 2nd round. And the 2nd round, they'll come back in reverse order of quality of qualification. So the fastest clear in the 1st round will have the best of the order. They'll come forward last in the 2nd round in order to try and take victory. 100,000 in the prize fund at each of the 3 levels. The Meter 15 starts tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and we'll have the confirmed times for the other 2 classes up on the Split Rock Jumping Tour app as the day goes on. And we're delighted to be partnering with Horse and Country TV as well for the broadcast, free-to-air broadcast of those 3 Championship Series shows tomorrow here from the Lugano Diamond Split Rock Jumping Tour. And thanks to the Dutta Corporation, the international shipping specialists, for their sponsorship there. Delighted to welcome them along as partners here at the Split Rock Jumping Tour. But Samuel Parot and Bougazi are going to finish off our international series this week. As we say, Samuel, we know, has won, and has won his 3rd ever Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix, having taken victory before in the Invitational, having taken victory before at Split Rock Farm itself in Lexington, Kentucky. In fact, this will be his first Split Rock Grand Prix outside the Commonwealth of Kentucky, in which he has been victorious. Now, what does he do? He's having a bit of a go at it, because really settling in for the clear in the second round will nail down the 1-2, and it'll nail victory on for Bougazi. This horse has been very, very consistent at the 2-star, 3-star level of the sport. So he goes out behind the Vitalize. I think that's quite sensible. We saw Diego Bilbao be pushed into a spot he didn't want to be, coming inside the Vitalize. Samuel himself as well. That was where he had his problem. There we are. That's really, really nice way to finish it. It is clear in both rounds for Bougazi and Samuel Parra. So without penalty to take victory. Samuel will also be second with his earlier ride captain. And the USA will take third in the shape of junior rider Caroline Mawini, Dance de Buisson. So there's confirmation of our 1, 2, 3. Simon McCarthy got you fourth, and Diego Perez Bilbao and Mystic Lindenhoff in fifth. Our top five as a result of that jump off. 6th, 7th and 8th then. No change, of course. They were decided before we went into the jump off on the basis of results in the first round. And it was Tina Yates with a single time fault for the USA, Trinidad Sofia Ricard in 7th for Chile with 3 time faults, and Megan McDermott with the fastest 4-faulter with Nintendo for the United States of America. So another fantastic edition of the Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix Series. As I say, the weekend far from over. 2 more classes here in the Grand Prix today for you to watch on the live stream. 3 fantastic $100,000 Championship Series classes tomorrow. I hope you'll stay on the stream as well to watch the podium presentation for Samuel Parra, taking his 3rd Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix victory in his career, and taking our latest Split Rock Jumping Tour Grand Prix victory today in the Lugano Diamonds $100,000 Grand Prix.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here at the Terry Jumpers. Grand Prix. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome forward Melissa Brands and Craig Dickman from Lugano Diamonds, alongside Derek Brawl. It's been on Jonathan Tour to present the awards and congratulate the top 8. It was an absolutely wonderful class. It really was. As you can see, some of the fine sportsmanship here in America today, the ultimate day of competition. Jumper ring. In 8th place, with Nintendo, Megan McDermott. In 7th, for Chile, Trinidad Sophia Richard and Kamorka Z. In 6th, Tina Yates and Evalia Dines. In 5th place, Diego Perez Bilbao and Mystic Lindenhoff for Spain. In 4th, Ireland's Simon McCarthy and Gotcha. 3rd, Caroline Mawhinney and Dance du Buisson-Z. Melissa Branners, Craig Dickman, Natalie Steve and Hannah Herrig then head towards our winner. A huge congratulations for not only taking the win, but also taking second with Captain Z, Chile's Samuel Paro and Buga Z. Really is the most wonderful end to the international class, the penultimate day. There's more sport still to come to the national classes, the junior and amateur finals, and those official photographs now being captured by Wilmslow Photography. You can find those photographs online shortly after the conclusion of this class. You can also find them here on site, so do go and have a chat with the team. Megan McDermott 8th, Trinidad Sophia Richards 7th, Tina Yates 6th, Diego Perez Bilbao in 5th, Simon McCarthy takes 4th, Caroline Mawhinney 3rd, and it's Samuel Perot that takes both 2nd and the win of the Lugano Diamonds International Grand Prix. Capturing some wonderful memories. Thank you to Wilmslow Photography, thank you to Melissa Brands, Craig Dickman, Natalie Steve and Hannah Herrig. So without further ado, please be upstanding for the national anthem of your winner. Buga Z and Samuel Paro for Chile. Samuel Perot for Chile. Oh, just look at that. Oh, look at that. What a way to round off the Laguna Diamonds International Grand Prix. A champagne shower over on the podium. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the memories are made. It really, really is. And the Lugano Diamond Split Rock Jumping Tour all concludes here for the 2022 season at the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre. Thank you to Natalie, Steve and Hannah Herrig from the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre. Thank you to Melissa Browns and Craig Dittman from Lugano Diamonds. Not only the title sponsors, but the sponsors for this International Grand Prix.
Sorry, thank you. It's very like, we're here for like 5 minutes.
There is more to come today. The junior and amateur finals, the 1m20 and the 1m40. And as those top two get remounted and back in the saddle, we'll send them off on their victory gallop. A huge congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Please raise the roof for Samuel Parot, Bugazzi for Chile. Samuel, take us round one more time. Your winner of the Laguna Diamonds International Grand Prix for Chile, Samuel Parot. Come on, Split Rock, make some noise for your winner one more time. Once again, if you've missed any of the action, you can catch it all up online. You can find it on the Split Rock Jumping Tour app. You can find it through the website as well. But it is Samuel Parot Bugazzi that take the win for the Laguna Diamonds International Grand Prix. The last of the international classes, but not the last of the classes that will jump here today, because we'll be due to get underway. And not too much time at all, around 2:30 for the Abby Jones Sotheby's at 1m40 junior and amateur final, another of the intermediate jump-off classes. Then we'll conclude the penultimate day, the Split Rock Jumping Tour here in Sarasota, Florida, with the 1m20 junior and amateur final. Don't go anywhere, still more to come.
This one is ready.